Am I on? Am I live? Okay. So this week on this episode of The Refinery, we are talking about familiar mindsets and letting go of the ones that no longer serve us in order to hang on to ones that do. Check it out.
Like I was saying, he is always late. I can't stand that shit. Oh, wait.
I can't believe. Oh, he's here. He's here. Hey, man.
I can't see him. It's just you. John, baby.
Oh, man.
Who's late?
So you came in right after Brandon was discussing his barn ladies and the surprise gift they gave him. And yeah, exactly. Good face. Go forth, Brandon.
Like where the story starts.
Right? It's a strong opener. You have my attention.
Can we also acknowledge the different greens we have right now?
Very nice, right?
Very nice.
This is what happened. This is probably really, women, don't be offended when I say this. You know how women say, like, when they're around other women, that they start to get on the same cycle? Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's happening with us in, like, color coordination.
Yeah, I could see
like
that.
It's a beautiful thing.
Also, I feel like we probably have our man periods at the same time, like our emotional breakdown.
We do. It's once a week.
Yeah,
it's once a week. Yeah.
Good.
Right?
Wednesdays, we can talk about it, but it's Wednesdays, right?
It's Wednesdays. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. This one was a little bit lighter than usual, but I made sure to like double up on the pattern. But it's okay.
Good. So tell me about your barn ladies and your jacket.
So one is a wardrobe stylist. The other one, I think she does like makeup. And then the other one, she does like production. So they're all within the film world. But the one that does wardrobe styling has a bunch of clothes from set. I mean, you know, when we go to set, they've got racks upon racks upon racks of
racks, man. That's where the
clothing options.
That's where it came from. A lot of people don't know that. It was about TV show clothing set design. It was a whole thing.
I love the impromptu.
So she's got a crazy amount of like wardrobe left over from set, and she's like, "Oh my God, I've got the perfect jacket for you." I think this was also my payment for all the like heavy labor and lifting I've been doing. So I've been doing a lot of like building stuff, painting stuff for them, and she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna give him something. I'm gonna give him a gift." And I came in last night with Austin. We went for a little walk at where we go. And this was sitting on the chair waiting for me, and it was perfect. It's a large. I'm not gonna lie though, the arms are supposed to be a little bit shorter, but it's pretty perfect.
Nice.
It's pretty damn perfect. This is a gift.
Oh, that's rad.
It's damn good. It's damn good.
It looks so warm.
You ain't no cowboy unless you got some sheepskin.
I didn't know. I've never seen a jean jacket. I don't know if I've seen a jean jacket with like that liner on the inside.
My other one, my cranberry one is the same one. I went and killed this sheep myself. That's how deep I am in this cowboy shit. I went and got that sheep and I sheared him. I didn't kill him. I sheared him. That's extreme. Okay, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying now. Someone's trying to like posture themselves like, yeah, I went and killed this damn sheep to get this wool. It's like, you didn't have to kill him. You could have just shaved him. And you
did it politely.
Yo, I feel left out now. I didn't know we were going to prepare.
Look, we were just matching. It's a matter of, I feel like you'll go out of frame and come back in with a shirt behind, like, jacket in a minute. So,
I got some.
Oh, here we go.
So, by the way, we're very Yellowstone right now. So, for anyone watching, Colt and I are very Yellowstone. We should be season 5 coming up. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. They just wrapped season 4. So I'm like, they need some
Come
new
on now.
guys.
Come on.
There's no way. Does he?
I got some sheep.
See him.
Just like a fox. Is that just a fox? Did you just go out and skin a fox?
I think it's sheep. My dad brought it from Poland like years ago, and we've had it for a long time. And you know, now I feel like part of the club.
Oh my gosh.
How epic is this?
Now I feel like I need to only be wearing it just like over the shoulder.
With the sheep side?
Just Game of Thrones style, like Jon. This is escalating. By the end of this, one of us is going to be wearing a deer who's really fine and alive.
Just over the head.
Just kicking and bucking. It's going to be crazy.
I'll wear my dogs. I'll put both of my dogs on.
Oh, yeah.
Alive, though.
Yeah, I'll be wearing a Maltese. It's gonna be.
That sounds like high fashion.
Oh yeah, a Maltese on one side, a pit on the other. It's gonna be great.
John has a Frenchie.
It's true. It's not here right now, but if it was, he'd pop up here.
I have 2 Germans.
Season 1.
So there's that.
Into season 1.
There you go. Okay, where's the champagne? We're gonna cheers. We're gonna toast.
Okay, so I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna apologize right now because this is not like a onesie joke. I was not able to get champagne other than we have some champagne, but it's literally our wedding champagne. And so I wasn't able to open that. I felt like, however, Angelina made a stunning Boulevardier, which is the champagne of drinks, and I feel fine with that.
What up, Ange? Boop.
Cheers.
I knew she was there. Tell her I said what up.
It's always there.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Love you.
So we're checking in. We're going to check in now emotionally. How are you feeling, Jon Gorski?
You know, it's I'm in a good place in the sense that a lot of wonderful friends out here, especially this year not going home. We talked about that last week. I'm very grateful for it. And I'm riding that into the new year. I'm grateful for what this year is and a lot of gratitude. So I'm very happy with that. But it's also still just been an interesting year. So like contemplating on just like, even now, like I've friends are texting me about like, oh, what are you going to do for New Year's? That don't live in LA, and just like, oh, what are you guys doing for New Year's? And LA's numbers are not doing well. So it's nothing really. It's just staying home. And I have a couple of friends that I usually hang out with, and we all stay safe and everything. So we'll get together. But just kind of just taking in this year. I'm in like a neutral place. It's a good way of putting it.
Not high, not low, not happy, not sad, not. Yeah.
Grateful, but neutral.
Neutral.
I can appreciate that. I'm right here. I just want to turn that down. It was blinding. Am I next?
You are. Am I next? Yes, you are. Good sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on Wednesday, I woke up. No, I'm doing really, really well. I'm really, really happy. I feel this kind of overwhelming sense of gratitude, definitely, but that seems kind of too obtuse, like this kind of random generalization, right? I'm grateful for the fact that I've been working this week with a lot of students in the arts, and that I've been running classes on acting through movement and like really digging into breaking down a dance and really breaking down a script and putting yourself on camera, because that's a new world for a lot of people, especially for musical theater. This has never been something that we did. And now, because of 2020, like auditions just tend to be that way. And I've been working with a ton, literally 20 something odd kids over the last 4 days. And in teaching and coming up with this curriculum of what I believe in, I've rediscovered what I believe in and the things that I need to learn. You know what I mean? And it's been this really, really beautiful lesson, not to mention I have been able to dance these dances that I have done on Broadway, that I have been able to dance with. I'm a better dancer, hands down, now than I was 10 years ago. Hands down. I'm a better performer because I'm a more full person. You know, I've had 10 more years of life experience, and I've kept technique, if not improved it in that time. So like, it's just so much fun to like live that. And I said today to a kid who was working on this monologue, and I said, you know, I heard this quote about a year ago, and it kills me that at like 34, it changed my life as a performer. Miles Davis said, it takes a long time to play like yourself. takes a really long time for some of us, till you can hear your voice, till you know what you do and don't like and why that's okay, why that's acceptable. You are enough.
Mm-hmm.
And until less than a year ago, I didn't understand how to apply that to singing, to just singing my voice. And in that time, I've suddenly unlocked this ability. Same thing with my dance. I'm not trying to dance like this person, like this person. I don't need to try and dance like Baryshnikov or Desmond Richardson or these giants, or even these people like Tyler Haynes, these like big Broadway names, or Andy Blankenbuehler. I'm not trying to dance like them anymore. Taking what I got from them, and now I am doing me. And I have gotten to explore that for the last 4 days in a way that is so free and simultaneously doing that with my partner through life, like watching Ange do it too, and being like, oh, fuck me, why are you so good? It's so rude how good she is. She has no right to be that. She could be 30% less good and still be incredible. Like it's just unnecessary kind of good.
Yeah.
And to watch that and to feel that, like, oh, last point that I'll make is I talk to them about compete. I love competing. Because the original Latin or Greek of the word compete is to strive together. The goal is I get better, so you get better. So I get better, so you get better. So technically a relationship, a good relationship, you're always competing in some way, because you're just driving each other forward for the purpose of both of you growing together, for all of you as a community growing together. And so, yeah, I got to discover so much from that. And I'm just sort of on fire from it. And especially with the project that I've been talking to you guys about, obviously that just reinvigorated, it set ablaze something that was already on fire. So yeah, going into the new year, I'm very excited. This is going to be a big year for our family. And I'm really excited to be on the kind of precipice of that, like right at the Malcolm Gladwell, right at the tipping point of it, and just be like, oh shit.
And
it's exciting. Brandon?
I'm going to say, dude, from 3 episodes ago, I think it's like 3 episodes ago, your energy is completely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely different. You don't seem as obligated. You don't seem as like, I gotta. Whatever you released, it's clear. Whatever you let go of is very clear.
It came from these conversations. That's the best part. It came from having that conversation that night when I was over obligated. And sometimes it just takes that kind of openness of diving in and being like, fuck me, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah.
And knowing that I was in a place where I could trust you guys. I could trust you guys to, the worst case scenario, you would have been like, that's crazy. All right. So the topic for tonight.
Right. Pushing forward the agenda versus being there for each other.
Yeah. And that's the worst case scenario. I still would have had a great talk and I would have just been in the same place I was in. I think that's important for us. So how are you?
I wasn't so good 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I would say I'm coming above the clouds now for something that I didn't really know was going to be a thing. So I'd like to start off with a little story before tonight's prompt. My senior year of high school, and I may or may not have shared this story on here. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. My senior year of high school, my mom was already deployed, and she had been deployed since 2004. But my senior year, she wanted to go one more trip over to the Middle East. And so this is the last 6 months of my high school year before I get ready to graduate. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Am I going to do this? Am I going to go to college? What is my goal? What is my agenda? I wanted to play football really, 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 really bad. And I had a friend of mine, for now we'll call him Jake. And Jake said, yo, why don't you just stay with me? Stay with me and my mom. We've got another spare bedroom, you and your younger brother and my other younger brother at the time. You guys could just come stay with us. I'll talk to my mom, come stay with us. So I go to my mom, I say, hey, listen, I don't want to leave Texas. This is it. I'm going to leave Shoemaker. I'm going to go to a JUCO, play JUCO ball, get some credits, get some experience playing ball, and then I'll go for a D1 from there. She says, well, you really want to say that bad? I said, well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to go anywhere else. There's really nowhere else for me to go. So let's find a way to stay here. So Jake's mom agrees. My mom, they sit down, have a talk. I want to say around Thanksgiving or so. They have a talk and they agree upon some payment terms, whatever we need for food and clothing and all these different things. My mom feels good. I feel somewhat okay about it. And then she leaves. The drama unfolds. She had this habit of, if I didn't do something she wanted according to her rules or her chores, she would talk to me as in a way that she was like threatening to like throw me out, and you're an adult now and I can kick you out if I want to. And I mean, completely rip me to shreds, to where when I was so emotionally responsive and angry and pissed off, I would say, I didn't ask to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm not asking you to be here. And as that was bubbling up and rolling up into my belly, she would say, oh, sweetie, I don't mean it. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. Auntie's here. Auntie's here. Auntie's here. And I would never call her auntie, because she was trying to do this thing with me where it was like, no, we're family. I'm your aunt. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what family does. And so she did it enough to where I was programmed to just feel safe. Just felt safe. Water's going to be on. Electric's going to be on. I'll have money for food. I'll do the things I need to do. I'll go to football practice, whatever. I'll work on my SATs here. Like, I just feel safe. And as long as my brothers have somewhere to stay and we're all good and we're all together, they're great. It's the week of my graduation. I don't know the full story, what happened between her and my mom, but she says my mom was late by a couple days, 2 months ago, for a payment because she's overseas. So sometimes things get crossed. And she says, the week of the graduation, I said, hey, my mom's coming into town. She can take us to dinner tonight. Oh, she's in town? Call her. I said, okay. I call my mom. She says, Stephanie, come pick up your kids and everything here. Come pick them up. My mom's like, what? What do you mean? Like, he graduates in 4 days. You're telling me you're trying to do this now, this week as I'm here? What were you going to do if I wasn't in town? 2 hours later, my mom pulls up in a minivan. I load up everything that I own, everything my brother owns, and we go stay in a hotel for my last week of high school. And I remember thinking to myself, like, she wanted to hug and say goodbye and all these things. And I literally looked at her like, there's no fucking way. That feeling of rejection, manipulation. 13 years ago, I didn't know when or how I would address it. But a couple of days ago, I had a situation pop up in my personal life. And just for the sake of the conversation, someone that I'm close with and a friend with said something to me, and it triggered the fuck out of me. Like, it was very accusational and didn't have the full story yet. And this person went in on me in her own right, whatever she thought and felt at the time. We haven't fully addressed it yet, but she said what she said. It hit me in my gut. And I said, I need to leave. I need to walk away from this right now. To where I was like, we will never talk. I will never see you again. Thank you for everything. And that was that. And I had to sit with, why was I so reactive to this particular circumstance, situation? And what feelings came up for me? And without really getting into details, I saw that I could potentially be getting, this is not about our relationship. There's a bigger goal here. There's another factor. But I could be getting in the way of something that I really want and desire for my life and my happiness because of this, if I allow it to. And so I saw a quote from Haley Lott, who is Ronnie Lott's daughter. She has a platform. If you guys aren't following Haley, go follow Haley. She's got a great podcast, very inspirational. She does motivation and meditation and all that stuff, but she's great. She had a quote. She said, avoid the temptation for familiar thoughts that no longer serve you. And I align with that so much so because the familiar thought was, you hurt me, you didn't appreciate me, you didn't have gratitude for me, so now I'm going to take all of this love and I'm fucking out of here. The familiar thought was, in order to protect myself, I have to close up. In order to not be hurt, to not let this get to me, I have to leave. And I didn't realize until a conversation occurred with a friend of mine that my protective mechanism could also be my own self-sabotage beyond forgiveness. Once forgiveness and apology is offered, you have an opportunity. But in my own way of being, I was like, I don't care if they apologize or not. And I was like, why am I so stuck and so stubborn on this particular point of withdrawing my love and just being like out? And it's because of what happened to me 13 years ago. So I wanted to bring up something for both of you and see if, is there a thought? Is there something familiar for you that comes up with money, with your health, with your overall confidence and appearance? Is there something that's familiar that comes up for you that you have chosen recently, or it's even tempting to choose, but know that it no longer serves you in your life?
And yes. Yeah, of course. That's part of life. I think that's what we do. Man, I have so many questions about your story. I don't even want to, I'm like, I don't care about, I have more questions.
If you want to, I don't mind us flowing with that.
I just think it's something that's important to like really kind of like, let's at least try and figure out something within the parameters of what you've given us. Like, sure. I don't want to delve more into it, like too much deeper, but at least with that. So you feel, I just want to make sure I understand, you feel that when you feel attacked from somebody, that when you feel attacked, you retreat so much into yourself that you just block that person out? Like, are you just out auntie, or are you blocking out auntie, or are you blocking out so other people as well? Like, do other
the individual
collateral, or is it singular?
No, just the individual.
Okay. So, and this may need refining on my part.
Sure.
But I don't currently see a problem with that. Because that person, regardless of circumstance, chose to be vindictive to your mother instead of protecting a 17-year-old boy for his graduation and his brothers.
Well, auntie is her own separate thing. Auntie is still where she stands in my life.
Right. But this other person.
But new person got the residue of that.
So new person, you're saying new person
related?
Deserved that. Did new person not deserve the way that you responded?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, that's
because I was triggered. Yeah. Because it was so familiar to me, it triggered the hell out of me. And then I was like, I literally hit all the red buttons. The missiles were going off, and I was like, not again, not again. Code red, get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry.
And this person is like, what? But they don't know
Yeah.
where that comes from. And that's what I wanted to talk about is like, in those moments, like, let's just say like, I say to you, dude, you're looking a little small today. And not realizing that's tied to something that, not realize, and I'm saying it jokingly, not realizing that when you were 10, that was a joke in Georgia, right? With all the backwood boys, is that Colt's a little punk. Oh my God, the moon is insane. Holy shit. It's insane. Okay, sorry.
I gotta take a look at it before the end of the episode. We all take outside, take a look.
It's a full moon. It's literally on the cusp of one of the trees in the backyard, and it's just epic. I wish I could show you, but I can't. So that was a thing. Like me saying that jokingly, and then you saying, "Well, fuck you," then, and then I'm like, "Why is he?" What?
So when your trigger fires on the wrong person.
Correct. When you let off an AK-47 on pretty much an innocent bystander.
I get what you're saying.
But the thing is also, I think it's a defense mechanism for you to know, I need to step away before, like, for example, like what I hear is, I know something's bad's about to happen. I need to leave.
Yeah.
Yes, triggering something, and it has nothing to do with necessarily this person. Yes, granted, they're the trigger, but I know in this moment, if I need to react right now, I'm about to react very badly. I need to leave.
I get that.
And like I had a similar situation happen a couple weeks ago where it was simply just setting up a Christmas tree. This was one of the girls at the house. And in the moment, I had to, like, to give the short version, I had to do the same thing. I was getting super triggered. And I was just like, and my whole thing is, and I taught this when I was young, you have nothing good to say, don't say anything. Yeah. I sometimes take it to an extreme where I will get mute. I will not say anything. I will get quiet. I will shut down until I can sleep, because I know in the moment, I will be an asshole. Like, there's a side of me that I can be an asshole. And like, I remember the last time I was fully deep an asshole and I said some real messed up stuff.
By the way, that phrasing was great. That deep in asshole. I'm like,
that was terrible. John? I love it. I love it.
We'll scratch that up.
No, keep it in there.
But it's the same thing where it's just like, I had to, in the moment, I had to get quiet because we had something to finish, and I had to step away. And they're like, why are you so frustrated? And I was like, I will come back to you. Because in reality, I didn't know what I was frustrated. I knew I was triggered. I didn't know I was frustrated. And so it took me 2 days. And finally I was like, hey, let's sit down, let's talk about this. And the first thing I said was like, look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna approach something that I don't normally do. I usually ignore this. I usually wait till this gets set aside, or I ignore that person. I don't address this, but I want to address this. But having that time to process and figure out what exactly got triggered, because I let her know, I'm like, in the moment when you were asking me what's wrong, and I was telling you I didn't want to tell you, in the moment, you were the wrong, you were the problem, you were it. But in reality, were you it? No. You were shedding light on something I didn't want to look at. And it wasn't until I could sit with myself and really ask myself, what is the issue that's going on right now? Why did this just trigger me to get so frustrated? And I realized, I wanted a sense of control. Why did I want a sense of control? Because I felt that my opinion didn't matter. And what did that mean? It meant that I felt like I was being invisible and that no one was seeing which meant then it spoke to my not feeling worthy enough, because someone's not listening to what I want to say. So it wasn't until I could sit back and then to come back to her. And I was like, if I told you in the moment, you would be the problem and I would be the asshole. But because I had to, and I saw the triggers coming, I saw what was coming up, I had to step away so I could figure out what's coming up. And now I'm coming back actually to say thank you, because you shed light on something I didn't want to look at. And now I get to look at that because I didn't even realize that's something that triggers me. So now I get to actually reflect and look at that. And so I think in that moment, I think it was a smart move. And I think it was interesting because she told me that for her, women want to handle it right now. Let's talk about it. Let's figure this out right now. But men, we need to kind of like step away because we want to be there. But that's not a de facto move for us. And so we're still trying to learn how to do that, but we need space. We can't do it in confrontation. We can't do it with 30 questions coming at us. We can't do it at like in the shit. We have to step away from this shit to realize what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, my watch is going off, but this is a good time anyway. So I have something that I wanted to touch on, but it actually leads perfectly into my kind of joining in here, which is the first time in season 2 that I get to disagree with somebody, specifically Jon. I think this is the first time in 2 seasons I've done. So exciting. Everybody, let's take a photo. Okay, nice. So I can't speak to your friend or the female population at large, but I can speak to my wife, and she does not follow or adhere to that particular. She is very much a stoic philosopher in the sense that she is like, no, I'm going to take some time. Nope, I'm done. It's time for me to go to bed because I'm drunk, I'm tired, I'm not having this fucking argument anymore. And there are a lot of nights where, and I'm very much the girl in this situation where I'm like, no, we need to talk about it now. I need to talk. I can't go to sleep because because what's the rule? If we go to sleep and we don't talk about it, we'll divorce. That's what everybody says. We'll die alone. I can't do this. Now, this leads me to the grander topic that I wanted to discuss, which is, and this is where I get to bring my sage old man wisdom into this as the elder of the 3 of us.
Here you go again with that age shit.
Hey, man.
Oh, God.
You ready for this? No shit, no lie.
Yeah.
You will never be ruder than you will to the person you love most in the world.
Come on, somebody. Talk to him.
Hurt. And if you genuinely love them, you'll learn a fucking lesson. And if you don't, you'll learn a fucking lesson. If you go off on somebody, that means you care what they think of you, what they're doing. They'll trigger you because there's something there. There's something there for them to trigger. I've had a lot of people talk to me and say things that would if Ange said them to me, I'd lose my mind. But them saying it, I'm like, who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?
Like, I don't give.
Hey, what are you doing?
What the fuck are you?
What are you doing?
What you say about me. But when you care about someone's opinion, suddenly something changes, right? So
yeah, that
person that triggered you, Jon, I'm guessing someone very close to you. Brandon, I'm guessing the person that triggered you is someone very close to you.
Oh, yeah.
The person that just rolls into the stables for an afternoon doesn't get read the riot act because you don't have time to do that because you have shit to do, right? You don't care so much about them, but the people that you love most, the ones whose opinions about you care about, that's the ones that hurt. When they don't seem to value your time, when they don't seem to value your opinion, when they seem to run all over whatever's happening, right? There's something there that just knows what. There's something there that happens that takes us away. And I am forever grateful and forever embarrassed that the worst of myself and the best of myself has been shown to the same person.
Preach.
It's a hard thing. Like, even now, it's a hard thing. A few days after our 7-year wedding anniversary, 10 and a half years together, like, it's a hard thing to know that, like, the worst of myself hasn't been seen by friends, hasn't been seen by exes. It's been seen by the person that I really wish didn't ever have to see that part of me. Like, that sucks. But it's also the person that saw the best of me. So I think there's something there to explore within this whole conversation. And within finding why it was that, Jon, that you waited a second, and Brandon, that you, though it hasn't been resolved, I overreacted, right? There's something on the other side of that. And I've been saying this a lot lately, and then I'll wrap up my little time here. But
Where are you going?
No.
Hey, you two finish up the refinery.
I was poetic about that woman for a long time. So like, don't give me a fucking lead and say, just, you got it, just go. I'll free solo the mountain and then end up at the top and be like, oh shit, I forgot. Y'all want to come up? Here, I'll hook it in here. Like, what I've been saying is, and we've had this conversation a lot, and it's taken this whole time, it's taken my whole 35 plus years, it's taken our whole relationship for me to understand this, it's taken my whole childhood, it's taken my whole relationship with friends, parents, things, to acknowledge that love, or the lack thereof, is equatable in action over time. Right? That's something that becomes really important when you realize that, yeah, you were shitty in that moment. What are you going to do now? What story is time going to tell? What story are you going to tell over time? That's important. That matters. We're not supposed to be perfect all the time. We're not supposed to be perfect ever. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Whether you're religious or not, it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. You can't be perfect, but you can be better. You can acknowledge that you can be better. And so I think that's kind of the crux of the argument that we're chasing, right? How do we be better? That's it.
And being better for me in this particular instance was when I was sitting with it in relationship. And Colt, I love that you said this, because an ex-girlfriend of mine, we would get into these massive fights, and then she'd be like, I'm over it, I'm done. And then I could not, for the life of me, be like back to kissing and hugging. And I'd be like, no, I'm not ready yet. I can't, because I'm upset.
I'm so upset.
I'm so upset.
Because I'm hurt.
I'm hurt. I'm over here.
Oh, you gotta say it. Because I'm fucking bro.
My feelings, motherfucker. And then I years later, after reflecting, I said, gosh, what would have happened if I was able to let go and kiss her? I was able to let go and talk about it with her after, and hold her hand, look her in the eyes, and have a conversation. What would have happened if that stupid argument over Subway did not get blown out of fucking proportion because I told her not to have a tuna sandwich and I wasn't buying it? Right? What would have happened if in those moments I could get out of my own way? Because the familiar story for me is conflict equals love. Drama equals love. It's all I've seen. It's all I know. This is relationship. This is what men and women do. This is what my mom's done for years. This is how she's interacted with men. I want something different, but I don't know what different is. So let me cling to what I've seen, the examples that I have. It's the reason that dogs and horses are all creatures of habit. Because the second you try and introduce something to them that's not in their routine, they act out, completely act out. Even if the routine is bad, even if it is, you should slap me upside my head. I'm used to being pet on the ass. I'm used to being told no. I'm used to this and this and this abusive behavior. And the second I don't get that, I am now going to act out in a way until I get the thing that sends me back into that mind frame that is familiar to me. And we do that sometimes in a relationship, or we create the circumstance that we say we don't want, but because it's familiar, it's safe. Because it's familiar, we know it. So subconsciously, we put ourselves in a situation where I'm not really looking for an argument, but God damn it, I don't like the way you put the damn cheese in the refrigerator. It has nothing to do with the cheese. It has to do with all the things Jon talked about, right? I don't feel valued. I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. I told you before. Why don't you hear me? Why aren't you listening to me? Now you've created this argument. Now you've created this conflict. Now you've created this big invisible monster that doesn't even exist. All to validate the story that's familiar to you that no longer serves you. Get in there. Get in there.
Okay, so Jesus.
Okay.
This is great. It's great. I love it. Okay, so there's this really cool concept that I heard actually through a sermon that was dictated in a way that expressed it in a way that I really, really loved, that talked about it talked about the fact that in relationships, let's say you have a like water, like a water bubbler, you know, like you put the water jug in it and you get your fresh water out of it. Yeah. And this particular person was talking about it. And he says, look, every time I come into my house and the water jug is empty, I can change it out. But my wife likes it when I clean both the water jug and the water bubbler. It makes no sense. None of it touches. It doesn't matter. Nobody can see it, right? But I do it because I know that I have to have that integrity in that moment, whether she can see me or not. I'm there. And in his words, God is there. I am there. That's important to me. She wants it done. I want her to know when she gets water that she is comfortable to do that, knowing that I wiped it and I wiped it. This speaks to that cheese dilemma, right?
Yeah.
It's not that you told, it's not the argument about Subway. It's not that she didn't put the cheese in the right drawer. It's that neither one of you could reconcile with the other why that was important.
Yes.
There's something so spectacular in the fact that I will not drink water or put our girl's water bowl out of a faucet.
Yeah.
Ange will never know the difference. I could lie to her and she would never know. It's not like she gets down and tastes the water or measures the mercury levels. It's just a matter of, I know that I want to be honest with her about that and it's something that's important to her, and it doesn't change my life. And and this is super important, if putting a cheese in a different place is too hard for you, it's not, you can't love this person enough to remember where to put the fucking cheese, or you can't love this person enough to get water out of a jug instead of out of the faucet, then maybe you genuinely, again, action over time, don't love this person enough. And that's okay. You don't have to be with this person.
Right.
You don't have to forgive this person. You don't have to love this person.
Right.
Not that we, P.S., and I just want to tag this in here, we do not owe forgiveness to anyone. Doesn't matter how much they apologize. That's not your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You do not owe them forgiveness. You are in charge of that forgiveness. You can give it whether they ask for it or not. I may be almost arguing against myself from earlier, but I think that the general, I don't forgive what happened, the person who abused me as a kid. I don't forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
I forgive myself for the way I reacted to it. I forgive my mom for the situation. I don't forgive him. I don't have to. He can ask for it. I don't have to.
Right.
That's okay. You have that power. And I think that that's important. I do, however, forgive the people that I love, that I care about. And I think that those things are important. How that action, that whether it's internal or external, the things you will do. I will get on here at 9 p.m. East Coast time, all the fucking time, to talk to y'all. I will do it every time that I'm able to, because I love talking to y'all, because I love you. I will make that work, even though it's way past my bedtime. Jeopardy's been over for a long time. Okay, like you know what I mean? You make decisions for the people that you love.
That you love.
Both of you made those decisions for the people that you love. And that is something so spectacular. I really, really love that.
I'd say the one little note I would want to add to it, because that is something I was recently even just talking to my mom about, what you're saying is we wouldn't do that to someone we love, or if we really love them, we wouldn't do that. Sometimes we do love them, but we self-sabotage ourselves.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
something I was talking to my mom about a family friend that we have that recently, like, I don't know, there was a little bit of drama and they reacted out of anger. And my mom goes, I just don't know why someone would be so angry. And I go, Mom, the only reason they're so angry is because they're in so much pain. The only reason they're causing so much pain to that person is because they're in so much pain. I was like, someone who's happy doesn't go out of their way to make someone hurt. I was like, only hurt people hurt people. And so I was like, that person, we have to be empathetic. And I was just like, and to what you were saying before, I think there's times where, at least in my life, I've seen in the past where I've sabotaged myself. I care so much about this person, but I don't care enough about myself that I don't think I'm worthy for this person. So let me go ahead and mess this whole thing up because they deserve something better. So I'm going to go ahead and make this decision and fuck this up because I can't deal with thinking I'm on that same level. And it wasn't until having like what we've talked about, the self-worth conversation. Because like I only heard about the idea of self-worth like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where I didn't really think that's a concept. I was just like, I didn't understand that until it really went in depth and realized, wow, if you have low self-worth, there's a very good chance you sabotage a lot. Because if you don't feel worthy in a situation, you're going to get yourself out of the situation. And if you don't have like the guts to just say, hey, I don't feel comfortable in this place, you do something so that they kick you out of the place. And then you can blame them and you can be angry at them. Be like, how dare they? And that's what I was kind of telling my mom. I was like, it's very easy to go and blame them because yes, they're the ones who did the act that came out of anger. And yes, there should be accountability to that. But at the same time, we have to look at that person and it's like, what's that person's experience? Why would that person decide to react like that? Why would that person decide to get to that extent or that level of causing pain to someone else? Well, they must be in pain themselves. So where's that coming from? And I was talking to a friend last night, is like, how often do we were talking about the idea of self-respect and just in general respect. What is respect for another person? And I brought up that at times it's putting yourself in another person's shoes. It's like when you're in an argument with someone else and you're just like, forget this person. Like, I have nothing to do with this person. That's the hardest moment to take a pause really quick and ask yourself, what is this person going through? Why are they pushing so hard? Why are they doing such a big thing? Because I can look at myself and figure it out. And that's one of the things I've realized is like, I now luckily like somewhere in life told me like, hey, something bad's about to happen. You need to turn off and you need to step away because you're about to do something real stupid. So at least I know my stuff, but it's different for everyone. And so we sometimes, and as we become through these conversations, if we see someone who's triggered and reacting, but yet they're not conscious in the moment, or maybe the emotion is so high that they're not conscious of what's going on, sometimes we have to do it for them and being like, yo, you know what? Let's take a pause. Let's come back to this because I see that this is going in the wrong direction. And I don't even think we're going to get to a solution. I think we're only going to go digging deeper at each other. And that sometimes pisses people off because it's like, for certain people, they want to keep going. They're like, no, I want to be right. And I'm like, no one's right. We're both going to be wrong in this. Let's just step away and come back because a lot of times it's the emotion that overwhelms the logic. And sometimes the logic is what really is needed in a situation.
It's interesting you say that because the imagery that I got, and I saw it because of what I've done in arguments before. Sometimes when a lifeguard goes out to save someone who is seemingly in danger or is drowning, if they're fighting and kicking and doing all this shit, there's a really good chance not only will they drown, but they're going to drown the lifeguard with them. Mm-hmm. Because they're so focused on, I'm dying, I'm hurting, I'm in pain, that they don't see that they're also going to take someone else down with them to the depth of the ocean. And in this example, what you said about acknowledging why someone might have been reactive or triggered, I could tell that the person that I'm currently talking about, not Auntie, was triggered enough to say something to me that was hurtful because she was going through something that I could not see, not realizing once those words left her mouth, it was going to do something to me reaction-wise, right? To where then I now respond and I react, to where I tried my best to like go like hindsight and say, hey, can you just look at this for a second? After you did this and now you're trying to apologize, I can't unsee or unhear what you said. So it's going to be hard as fuck for me to be like, yeah, let's move forward. You've already said these things, but I'm willing to acknowledge we were both in a very emotional state when it happened. And in order to move forward, we need to like address and acknowledge, okay, what was going on for you in that moment? Why did you feel that, and where was that coming from? And do you feel that I do something to you, or I've done something to you to create that reality? Because it didn't come out of nowhere. No one pulls an emotion or a word out of thin air just for the sake of it. It's like, I know this is gonna hurt you, because it's like a fucking bow and arrow. In any argument, it's a bow and arrow. You're being a dick right now, even though you're a guy of integrity. So if I called you a dick, you're going to be pissed the fuck to hell, because you're like, I'm such a fucking good guy. God damn it. I'm a good guy. You know that. I bring you roses on Tuesdays. How dare you call me a dick? And now you have an argument over something that is challenging your character, challenging who you're trying to be. And they can see you're trying to be. No one ever looks at a person who's being an asshole, and then when they call them the asshole, expect the asshole to respond. Because the asshole already knows, I'm being an asshole. I'm being a jerk on purpose. I am being self-centered. I'm being a douchebag on purpose. This is how I am. So how do you expect? You can't use an arrow for me in that regard. You can't. There's nothing that's going to pierce me, because I'm already living in it. I'm already walking in it.
Yeah.
But for me, I think moving forward, and this is the bigger conversation for me, was how do we go into 2020, not or 2021, not holding on to things that 2019 had for us, 2018 had for us, 2017, 2020 had for us in a new year. And that's a concept that we live with, right? To me, it's just another day. To me, when January 1st hits, it's another calendar day. It's another day. It's another 24 hours. But for the world at large, it's a marking of a new beginning. So if we are going in with a new mindset, instead of resolutions and goals, and though those things are very valuable and they do hold some weight and value, what new mindset can we go into this new year with that will serve us in an area that at a certain point didn't? And that's what I would love to hear from the two of you. What's something that you are going to actively acknowledge, be aware of, and make a shift in for a new way of thinking and being in this new year?
If I may, I think that to continue just your reconnaissance that you've been going through lately.
It's a good damn thing. Green light.
Fantastic. He's discovering himself, and he's doing it publicly, and he's sharing some cool truths with people. You know, man, just had some cool experience. I really, really dig it. But within that, I think, you know, we could go back to one of his roles from True Detective. You know, time is a flat circle, time is a construct, that's something we add, right? We add weight to, because it allows us on, I fucked my diet up on Thursday, so I will go through and fuck it up until Sunday, because Monday's the new day, or Sunday's the new day, whichever one that is, right? We all,
yes,
I get it. Like, fuck it, the week's gone. I'm out, right? And we go, 2020 fucked. I'm getting fat, and in 2021 I'll get it back together if the world comes back. It's always the ifs, whatever.
It's the ifs, yeah. After
it's a lot of ifs. What I will say is, with regards to this particular conversation, because the things that I want to, you know, work on in 2021 or any time after
tonight
are vast and innumerable. But I think that with regards to the conversation, the separating my mind into remembering, I'd like to go into 2021 remembering the difference between a debate and a dialectic. A debate has the goal of proving that my side is right. A dialectic is both of us searching for.
So fucking good.
Right? Like there's just something to that concept of going, I remember the first time that I heard that, and it was in a very contentious scenario, and there was a lot of yelling going on. And the person who said that ultimately lost that particular argument, I would say, in that moment, just because he was shouted down in a grand way. But in another way, I think the goal should be, what's the truth? What's the truth of this? How do we step away from our triggers? How do we step away from those things? Not our perceived truth. What is the truth of this situation? And you'll often find, at least in my experience, from our decade of relationship has been, we're both wrong. We're both wrong in some way most of the time.
In some way.
One of us is just 51% wrong and one of us is 49% wrong. Like the percentages shift, but there's usually both of you have been dicks to some degree. And it's just a matter of who was most dick, like who was the biggest dick and how do you measure that? Right.
Words. All this wording is fucking terrible.
I did it on.
Oh my god! By the way, I'm on glass number 3, so I'm like, gosh, dick size, biggest dick measure.
Right? No, we'll just through Refinery. We'll refine it in season 3. I think it's that. It's really trying desperately to do what Jon was talking about, which is search for what is our truth. But our truth, I think, has gotten a real big spotlight in recent times, generations. I don't even know where the delineating line is, but us has become so important, but we've forgotten in the search for ourselves, everybody else. And I think there was something about that maybe there's a way to shine light without just shining light on yourself. Like, learn about yourself, and in learning about yourself, that should extend your light, if you're truly learning about yourself, to other people, right? You should be able to have those conversations, Jon, that you had with your mom of going, hey, I get it, but what about, I understand your feelings. And within that means that we can understand someone's position and still disagree with it. Mm-hmm. You can understand how someone got somewhere and go, okay, I get that. I understand what you're saying. I just agree.
Yeah.
And that can be okay. We need to get back to a place, I feel like, with conversations where we can do what we do. We disagree. Occasionally, very rarely, we're fortunate about that. Occasionally we disagree. And when we do, it doesn't mean that I suddenly hate the two of you. It means we disagree.
Speaking of which, I disagree with the term "get back to a time when." It is one of the most cringeworthy statements for me. For me.
I shouldn't say get back to a time when. I should refine.
No. You should refine
that because I've never existed in a time when that happened. It is
after you, sir. No, after you, sir. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah. We're such gentlemen. No, so after you. No, sir. After you. No, sir. I'm so sorry.
Move forward into that mindset. It is. Yeah. I mean, you can, for the musical theater fans, you can never go back to before. And I'm so sorry.
That's so damn good. That's fucking amazing.
No, but I'm sorry. I'm glad you called me out on that. Thank you, because that is something that's kind of built into my vernacular. Like I spit that out, and I don't even mean that. I 100% mean moving forward. I think it's something we should search for.
Yes. Now he listen, y'all. He preaching.
There we go.
He preaching now. Pastor Prattes, he gets on one, and he gets on his pulpit, and I'm just like, yes, Lord, let him speak through you. Amen. We shall pass around the collection plate in the name of yes, God, as we go into this new year, this new season, God. He said that Colt will not just be a baby horse, but he will be a stallion riding into the horizon.
Thank you. My name is not just a gun or a malt liquor, people. After a baby horse. It's much cooler. That's a very strong thing.
Malt liquor. I didn't even think about that.
I did not think about that.
I thought it was a gun because I've heard that before. I completely.
It's like
old 45.
Come on now.
And he's like, "Fuck you." I'm a horse. I'm a baby horse.
I'm a small baby horse.
Oh, I'll winnie you down. I'm a foal. That's pretty damn good. Holy shit. So interesting about this conversation tonight, because you both have had similar experiences, like independently from what I've gone through. And what I love about this season that we've been doing together is that so many things, because of the way we framed this new one, life is happening, and we're happening with life. We're not happening. We're doing life together in such a way that when things happen, there's an alignment there. And the audience feels the same way. Instead of us, well, what's the topic tonight, gentlemen? Well, I think we should talk about this. I do like that. But what if you did this? Yes. Okay. Well, I'll see you at 6 p.m., good sir. I'll see you at 6. Yes. Like that was the lead up for season 1. Season 1 was great. It was a good learning curve. But now when we have these real conversations, real time, real things come up, real thoughts come through. I mean, Jon, by far, probably one of your more like passionate episodes, because this is so fresh for you, because you've experienced this recently. And I can see you, because you're such a silent type, being like, oh, for real? That's what we doing? Mm-hmm. Bet that. I'm out. And people like,
bet that.
Yeah, but like, he's such a nice guy, so that if he takes his love away, his energy away, you're like, but what's wrong with Jon? He's not talking anymore. He's not doing Jon things anymore. And he's just over there, just like sitting in the back patio, like, yeah. I'll show them who's putting the star.
I can see it.
Yeah. Who's putting the star on top of that tree? They're both 5'4" anyway. They can't reach if they wanted to. You'll need me. You'll need me.
About a 9.5-foot tree.
So, you know what's funny though? That's actually one of the things that it wasn't until like maybe a couple months to a year ago that was exactly what I used to do. I used to get quiet and be like, cool, let me let you see what it is to not have me. And it was such a place from ego. It was ego that was speaking, which is like, fine, you don't want to see that? Cool. I'm just gonna disappear. You're gonna see what's
all my amazingness.
If you don't want Jon, you don't get Jon. You don't get no Jon. Okay? I see you.
And that serves multiple purposes. You get no Jon. You want to act up, you get nothing. You don't get me, and you don't get Jon. You don't get nothing. That's it. I got you. You didn't appreciate those roses I got you? That's fine. I'll be over here. And when you're ready to talk, you'll talk. Very peacefully, very calmly. This has been one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
You two are
definitely one of my favorite conversations. Not to mention, we are terrible at doing an impersonation of Jon's voice. Both of us.
Oh, wait. I want to add in one part to what your question was, Brandon, because this is something I've been thinking about lately a lot. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch Soul that just came out on Disney.
The new Disney Pixar?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to watch it yet.
It's incredible. One of my favorite, what they did, the storyline, how they did it, all that stuff. There's so many pieces. You an earthquake or you're
Maya the earthquake. She's like
no, it's funny. It's something I've been thinking about the past couple of weeks, and that movie landed so strongly because it was just like I don't know if you grew up in religious family or anything like that. Like I grew up Catholic. I'm more spiritual now, but I remember hearing is like we have a soul, we have a spirit in us, and we're a human experience. And I think one of the big things to remember, especially going into this coming year, is we are a soul having a human experience. There's no right way of doing this. We're all learning. We're all like in an experiment. This body that we have is our vehicle in this moment. And one of the things I was talking to a friend the other day, because he didn't want to look at his health. And I'm like, dude, think about your car. If you don't go get oil change for a year and a half, there's going to be issues. And you can fix it. But if it gets real bad, you can replace your car. You can't do that with your body. Like if you mess up an organ or you mess up a limb or a knee or ankle and you don't take care of it, that's lifetime. And this is the vehicle that our soul gets to drive during this experience. And so during this lifetime, why not make the most of it and get rid of, because like I've had such an image conversation over the past couple of months of just like not wanting to be seen or not feeling that I wanted to be heard, and like these conversations have helped big time. Because I don't know if we've really had the in-depth conversation, but it's like when we first started doing this, I didn't want to be seen. I was just like, this would be really cool if my voice was here and it's just you two guys, because we got these two handsome guys over here, and then I'll just my voice. And it's like through these conversations, now I agree. It's three handsome men talking here. But like,
come on,
Hey.
But no, it's the idea that I realized is like, oh man, I've been so hard on myself of, I was, and again, it goes back to the control. I want to control how people see me. I had a friend who called me out 2 weeks ago, and man, certain people just know how to make something just hit straight to the core with a couple sentences. And she's like, oh, I bet everyone loves Jon. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I bet everyone has great things to say about Jon. I'm like, yeah, okay. And she's like, but I bet no one really knows what Jon struggles with. And I was like, well, all right. And she was like, and I bet Jon like creates this beautiful image of what his life is, but doesn't want anyone to know what he struggles with. And I bet he's so scared to be seen. And like, she just kept going deeper and deeper. And it was the biggest wake-up call of like, wow, I put so much effort on this image, this car that I'm driving, not realizing that what really matters is what's on the inside.
This is so good.
Will be the thing that's having the experience, and forget what we look like, forget what we sound like, forget that it has to be perfect. Like, let us make mistakes. Like, it is what it is.
You drive a kit car out here. You got a Lamborghini inside, all the fucking lights are going off. Check in.
But that I thought about Aston Martin. I thought about Aston Martin immediately when he said this. I wonder, because I still think you should have the car. So please, I am not saying you should not have the car. I'm not saying, but I look at, why do I love horses so much? This is the thing. Why I look at it. Is it my escape? Am I hiding behind a cowboy facade that I know women love? Do I think it's going to book me a job as an actor? Like, why am I so drawn to the horses, and why am I there? That's the question that I'm asking myself. As you display this metaphor, analogy, illustration of a vehicle being very clean and pristine, and even our first episodes in last season, you talked about how you had to have your car clean. But you're missing a radiator hose, and your oil hasn't been changed, and you're low on coolant, but the light's on, and you're just like, it's just coolant. I'm in LA, doesn't really matter. But these are all things that are stopping the vehicle from functioning at its highest capacity. I just, for one, whoever that friend is, I'm sure in the moment you were like, you mother. If you don't, I don't.
He just sat back.
Stop. Yeah, because I've had those conversations. I literally clasp my hands together and I do this. I mean, you could be right. I don't know. That's the line. You could be right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Possibly. I'll think about it. How about this? I'll think about it. In reality, my insides are turning because I'm like, ugh. You see something. Two things, Colt. We need to work on our Jon impersonations.
Yes.
We need to.
That just means that we have to find Bradley Cooper's voice coach, and then just drop our voices down an octave, and maybe we'll be like part of the way there.
It was one of the first compliments I got about Refinery. It was like, oh, his voice is like very like calming and it's like you were the other. It was like me and Colt, like, yeah, you know, and
and Jon drops down. He's like, tonight on Cool Refinery Talks, just straight ASMR.
That's it. If you had a jazz station, I'd listen to the fuck out of it. I swear to God.
That'll be the next project. I'll add that into Lifetime. Like somewhere in the Lifetime, I'll plug it right over here.
Yeah, there's nothing. Right. We're not asking a lot of you, okay, to develop your own radio station.
But
seriously though, I give you guys a lot of appreciation because like as much as this, I'm hoping this does many things for our viewers. Like as we've talked about, and like we started this episode, Brandon mentioned Colt, like you're completely different from that one episode where you were overwhelmed, and now you're calm, and it was like literally able to talk about it. And it's like all these episodes, all three of us have been able to continually refine ourselves and who we are, and it's like the whole idea of who you surround yourself with. But in reality, like even in this scenario, we are surrounding ourselves by people who we not only admire, but are, in a sense, everyone is a mirror. Everyone that we show up in life, every single person is a mirror. But each of those mirrors sometimes have tint or some kind of reflection or something like that. And certain mirrors are going to show you what you not only need to see, but they're able to show you where you need to really look. Because you might be able to see, hey, here's the issue, but that over here is this. This is the problem that's causing that issue.
I love it.
And these conversations are able to help us really see. Because it's one thing to be overwhelmed, but what is it? Okay, if you're overwhelmed, where is that coming from? Oh, well, this and this. Okay, but where is that coming from? And then we get down to the deeper thing, and then we really get to look at that.
But why? But why? You guys are like the least annoying version of but why that I've ever encountered, and it's the best thing ever. Especially because we've committed ourselves in a certain way to having these. We're not in a certain way. We've committed ourselves to having these conversations every week.
Amen.
We made fucking time. New Year's made time. Every time up until now, we make time. And I think that's a really, really, really important part. And I'm
of love.
Very grateful. What? Say it again.
Of love. Part
of love. Oh my God. Tied it together. Is that where we are?
It all makes sense.
First of all, Jon, that's the most animated I've ever seen you.
Literally,
that's ever. It. The Oscar goes to.
This is his Oscar. Character assholes. He's
that was amazing.
You know what? Cheers to that. And what I will say as a final point on what you were saying, Jon. There's like literally, I left enough like oil from the orange peel because it was so hard I didn't have any more. Jon, you said something that really kind of struck me, and it's about these conversations. And I think it's why these conversations are so much more important and impactful to us. We all watch them back.
Yes.
Part of love has been incredibly impactful upon my relationship because I watch back not the videos that you see. I watch back every tape in between. I watch every take, everything where I'm too sharp with Ange or that she's too sharp with me and how I react. I've seen myself overreact. I've seen myself take things in stride. I've seen her take things in stride that she absolutely shouldn't have. I've gotten to watch our relationship outside of just what part of love is. And I think we talk about this with performing a lot. Watch yourself, video yourself, see yourself on things. With these conversations, Zoom, I think, has changed and has changed the game in a lot of ways. Not the least of which is that if you actually record the conversations and you take the time to watch them back, you'll see who you really are. You'll see who you are when you're not speaking. You'll see who you are when you're not the one that's on screen, when you're not the one that's in the middle of the conversation. You'll see, do I pay attention to people? Am I on my phone? Am I looking off? Am I constantly like talking to somebody else? There's so many other things. And it's made me incredibly aware and attentive to where I give my attention. When one of you is speaking, I do my utmost, and I don't succeed all the time. I'm not saying anybody else is going to succeed all the time, but I want to give you my attention. I heard one time that someone said about Rich Froning, who's CrossFit's 4-time champion. And he wrote a book called Being First, I think, something like that. But in it, people are talking about him in the intro. And it says, when Rich is talking to you, you feel like you're the only person on earth. I think that's really special. I think that's something that we could aspire to. If you're going to give your time to somebody, give your time to somebody.
Hey, speaking of time,
please.
Because the gift we have here, and I thank you, Zoom. I don't think we've ever, like Zoom has been such a catalyst this year for so many people, right? People can teach school. People can host parties of 25 family members. I watched a funeral on Zoom. There's so many things that Zoom has offered us, but what's been great about Zoom is the recording feature that we have, right? Because we can record and then we post to said platform. So Refinery would literally not exist during this year without Zoom. Since we are recording this and since we are able to capture a moment in time, literally, I would love for the both of you, and I'll join in on this. What are 3 things that you are going to see happen in your life this year? Oof. This isn't about, now if you have it already, like, oh, I have a contract for July. This isn't about that. This is the beauty of manifestation and saying right now on record. And when we look back on this from season 2, we'll say, holy shit, that happened.
John?
I
got some stuff, but like,
if you'd like to go, I think 1 or 2 so far. I want to think of my 3rd one.
Sit with it. Go for it.
I really only have 1. It's just so important to me. I will be more present as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the number 1 thing to me. Number 2 fits in with that. I just want to be a better provider. I will be a better provider this year. And that's not to say that I haven't been. It's to say that this year will be better.
You can be better. I'm with you. Yes.
I know that, and I believe that, especially based on what we're working on. It's interesting. It's been something that this project has required work of both of us, but it has, and we've talked about this a lot, it has required much more of me. I love that. Not in a selfish way, not in an egotistical way. I love that I feel that I'm so connected to this that I don't think of it as that. She points it out to me every once in a while, and this is the first time I've said it. But I love that. I cannot wait to provide for my family better than I ever have before. I cannot wait to be a better husband. And I'd like to be a genuinely better listener. Myself to myself. Like, I want to hear me. I want to hear my voice more clearly. And I think by doing so, it'll allow me the freedom to hear other people more clearly. That's what I'd like to work on.
Love.
Yeah.
No, it's I think, well, my first one that I was going to say was I'm going to make the space to find love this year. And it's funny because I was talking to someone, I think probably like 2 months ago, and I was talking to her. She's like a relationship coach and does all this different stuff. And she said, you need to put yourself around people who inspire you, who are in love. And you, Colt, you've been one of those people. Like, obviously, like, Colt, you're married. You are one of the inspirations. But even what you just said right there reminded me of that conversation where when she brought it up, and my first thought was like, well, I get that on a weekly basis. I get to see someone who inspires me with that and talks about it and literally like embodies it. Like, you're an example who embodies like the love that you have for Ange is not only just incredible, but anyone who's watching right now knows how much you love her. And so that is my first one, is like to be in a place of to live what the example is. I wish to be where you were at. So I would say that's the first one. The second one, I've had a goal every year to be as ridiculous as possible with my life. My goal this coming year is to continue that, but I want to do that for other people. I want to be at a place where people are like, wow, my life is a little more ridiculous because of you. Like, you've helped my life be better. And not doing it because I want to feed my ego and be like, oh, look what I did for other people. I don't even want, like, necessarily need the credit. But it's knowing that if I can watch from the sidelines and see if there's someone I can hook up with a job, which I feel it's going to come down to, is like, if I can hook someone with a job that they go overseas and they get to travel and do something absolutely ridiculous, man, that will make me so happy. Genuinely make me so happy. So I think that's the second. And I think the third biggest would be kind of like what Cole was saying, is coming from, in a sense of from listening, but being present with the people. And that's going back to that movie Soul. Like that it doesn't ruin any of the movie, but it just gives you that reminder of be present in everything you do. Mm-hmm. Like there's beauty when it comes to the simplicity of washing dishes. There's beauty in the simplicity of having a conversation with a friend. There's beauty in waiting for a plane that just got delayed an hour. Like there's beauty in every moment if we allow ourselves to see it. And so I would like that last goal to be to pause in those difficult moments and still see the beauty. Because it's easy to see the beauty when the beauty is there and we're in a happy place. It's difficult to see the beauty when we're frustrated or we're annoyed or whatever it is. And to still pause and say, what's the beauty that I can see in this place or in this moment? So I would say those are my three.
Love you both very much, truly. A friend of mine, he's really big into words. And so as I had something in mind before we even hop on the call. And I was going to say, this is the year that my love story starts. And then I thought about it. I said, no, that's not it. My love story's already started. But this is the year that she will enter into. And then came the woman. But that story is already in the process of being written. So I see that for this year. Secondly, whether it's a Western or Yellowstone, I will do a role where my two passions come together. I looked back at this year in my photos. I shot 3 or 4 projects between January and February. And I was like, yo, those are my green lights. And then hard red light. Like the hardest red light of all red lights. But that red light isn't forever. And so I've had time to study. I've had time to really get to know myself, because Ethan Hawke said something in an interview I just watched, and I'm going to send it to the both of you because it applies to everyone. He says, when you love yourself, you can express yourself. And when you can express yourself, you can help people heal. That's when you know who you are. So create. My third goal this year is to create more. To create in love, to create in my art, to create in relationship, to create in conversation, to create in a moment, to take something that, as you were saying, John, in presence, I love a canvas of what is seemingly ordinary or mundane or very domestic or very pedestrian, taking that moment and then creating something that is memorable for someone. To create a feeling, not extravagance, but to create a lasting feeling of, I just got my first cowboy hat. That person just said that I have something great to give. I taught this guy the other day, he's never driven in his life, he's 26. I said, come on, get in my truck. I was drinking. I was totally drinking. I say, get in my truck. We're gonna go. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, your mom wants you to drive. She wants you out the fucking house. Get in my truck. We're going to drive right now. I said, we're going to go to the stop sign. You're going to cross the street. You're going to go up here. You're going to park my car and you're going to get out. He hops in my truck. He puts it in reverse. He checks his mirrors. I tell him, take your time. It's a Hemi. Please do not hit the gas. Yeah. It's a Hemi. He reverses. He goes down. He slows down at the stop sign. He goes across the street. He parks his car. I said, there's your first driving lesson. I'll see you next week. I want to continue to create moments like that, because when I'm not here, because if I leave this house right now and I get hit by a car, because if I wake up puking up blood and they say I've been diagnosed with cancer, because if I contract COVID-19 and it takes me out because I get mugged or because anything is possible in the next second. I want to know that I created this moment with the two of you at 7:04 on December 30th. For you, 10:04. That we created a beautiful conversation. We connected, we laughed, we got deep, we shared. And that when we get off of this call, the words we shared, things we felt, the things we saw will be with us forever. So with that, I say, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Oh man, I got a bottle of something over here.
All my champagne is gone, by the way. So I am officially, yeah, a drink for all of us, John. I'm officially tipsy.
We'll wait. We'll get a bottle of whiskey. You're telling me there's no bottles of whiskey in your house?
One last sip.
All right. That's all we're asking.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I got something. Hold on.
He has a little bar on the side of his chair. He's like, let me see. He's like leaning over like he was
I'm like, wait, you don't have whiskey? He's like, oh no, sorry. I mean, inside my jacket, I've got 6 bottles. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you meant like now.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Cheers. Happy New Year, boys.
Happy New Year.
Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Love you.
God, that's good. Pure malt.
And we will pure malt. And we will see all of you. Let me see it. Come on, back it up, and there she is.
Here we go.
By the way, have you tried the drop of water?
I've heard of water. I've had it before, but mostly to dilute my whiskey. Yeah, come on, you walked into that. That was like a bad joke. That was terrible. You made me do that. I didn't want to do that. How do you feel? You proud?
How do you feel? You caused this.
I had Japanese whiskey for the first time in Vancouver, and this guy does this literally the smallest drop of water, and he handed it to me, and I said, "Wow, the flavors just opened up."
Oh, you literally?
That's
good.
Yeah, it's literally a drop of water.
Yeah.
It helps in the especially Japanese whiskey. It helps bring out all the flavor profile. Yeah.
It's the same thing if you're ever drinking mezcal. Take a sip of the mezcal and then literally take a little piece of dark chocolate, put it in your mouth, like start chewing on the chocolate, and then take another sip of the mezcal.
Thank you for clarifying, by the way.
Whirlwind of taste.
Put it in your mouth, and he was like, "But by the way, bite."
You ready? All right. So, roll just a huge joint. Ready? Okay. And then just have smoke the whole thing, and then just have anything. Nice. I'm telling you, have a drop of water. Best drop of water of your whole life. I mean. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, man.
All right. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. So there is a special guest, and it's not who you think it is. Come on. You wanted to say hi?
No, is it Mama Prattes? Is it Mama Prattes?
Might just be.
Get it? No, stop playing. Come on. Stop playing. I haven't seen her yet. Get in there.
Hello.
Hi. John.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
Your number one fan right here, right
That's
now,
right.
live and in person.
Absolutely. And I'll be watching y'all again Friday.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Watched the whole conversation, and she was like, before it started, she goes, "I want to say hi to Brandon." I said, "No, you can't say hi before because we had just had the conversation that, look, I love you, but I'm gonna talk as if you're not here. I have to, otherwise it."
That was so damn good.
And I said, if you talk to him, he's gonna lock up. Just like I would if either one of their moms suddenly rolled in and was like, "Hey, I'm here." I'd be like, "Nope, I'm."
Lock it up. Lock it
Good
up.
call. Good call.
This bottle gone. Cussing gone. Nothing. Yes, ma'am.
Get some water.
Yes,
Where's the
ma'am.
water really quick? Let me grab some water.
Yes, ma'am. We'd be real wholesome. All the sexual innuendos came out. Oh, Colt, we're gonna have a conversation.
I enjoyed
We talked to
it.
but not the assholes in the deeps in the end. But John Colt, come on.
Dude, come on.
No, but it's amazing.
Atlanta police.
I've seen it all and heard it all.
Second class that ever existed in Atlanta.
Right,
No,
hands against the wall, spread them.
As Brandon was saying, like, I mean, for me, I already know this is going to be one of my favorite episodes. If not,
hands
my
down.
favorite episode.
Hands
For
down.
her to be able to watch it live, I mean, even makes me even happier.
It was pretty special.
Oh, it was. It was wonderful.
Oh,
Good to see y'all.
She's my favorite. I want to give you a hug. I kid you not. I kid you not.
I wish you could.
We'll be
Yeah,
out
where are you? You're still in Georgia now?
Yes.
We're going fishing.
Okay.
Come on down.
That's it. We're going fishing. I don't care. Anybody says.
2021.
Hook and I'll fish. I'm not touching those nasty worms.
All right, and Happy New Year. We've already said goodbye to the audience, but I love you guys. Thank you.
Love you, Mom Prattes. This is
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
That was the best
Happy
gift.
New Year. I'm
Happy
sure
New
I'll text,
Year.
but I love
Happy New Year.
Thanks, y'all.
Happy New Year.